Your home is supposed to be a space where your body can go to heal. But for so many families, the four walls around them can actually be a source of chemical toxins and stress. Think about the dust on your bookshelf or the electronics plugged in next to your pillow. These aren't just household chores. These are reservoirs for toxins that impact your hormones, your sleep, and your long-term health. As a building biology practitioner, I have seen firsthand how a crowded room creates a crowded mind and can lead to body burden down the road. Simplifying a living space is one of the fastest, most effective ways to lower your toxic load and finally give your nervous system a chance to rest. There's actually a scientific link between the amount of stuff you have in your home and the health and wellness of your family. Let's break down the science of dust, the reality of visual noise, and the exact steps to transform your home into a space that actually supports your biology. Welcome back. I'm Amanda. I'm a building biology practitioner, a certified home inspector, and a healthy home expert. Today we're going to talk about how simplified living, almost like a minimalist approach, can actually help you create the healthy home that your body needs to thrive. Building biology and simplified living exist at a powerful intersection that most people never even consider. So when we talk about health, we often look at nutrition or exercise, but we ignore the primary environment where we spend 90% of our time. The physical items in a space have measurable, tangible impact on indoor air quality and the human nervous system. So in this discussion today, we're going to explore how your physical environment dictates your biological health and why the modern more is more mentality is actually creating a physiological burden on our bodies. Because by understanding these connections, you can transform your home from a source of stress into a tool for longevity. So this field of study is dedicated to understanding how the home environment interacts with your body. We look at our home as a third skin, the first being our actual skin, the second being our clothing, and the third being our walls. So just as your skin breathes and absorbs what you put on it, your home environment is constantly interacting with your respiratory and endocrine systems. From chemical off-gassing to air quality to electromagnetic fields and even moisture control, every component of a house affects your natural biological rhythms. So building biology teaches us to view our homes not as a static shelter, but as a living, breathing extension of our own health. One thing to really consider is our house dust. Now, most people view dust as really an aesthetic issue or a sign that they need to clean more often. But in actuality, it's a complex chemical soup, if you will. So in building biology, we view dust as a primary reservoir for toxins. Many modern products, from your television to your couch cushions, they shed molecules that are heavier than air. These are known as semi-volatile organic compounds, and they don't just float away or get filtered out by a standard HVAC system. They actually settle onto surfaces and they latch onto dust particles. So when we talk about dust, we're talking about a concentrated collection of every chemical that has off-gassed from the products in your home. And this is why a cluttered home is fundamentally harder to keep healthy. Now, to understand SVOCs, I want to simplify matters. We have to look at the mechanics of these molecules. So unlike volatile organic compounds, these are VOCs, which are light and float in the air. SVOCs are heavy and they're persistent. They off-gas from electronics, from vinyl flooring, and even treated furniture through a process called abrasion, or simply through temperature changes in the room. So once they enter the air, they look for a place to land, and dust, it's the perfect host. When a home is cluttered, every extra item, every stack of papers, every unused appliance, every decorative trinket, it acts as a landing pad, and these items create dead zones where air doesn't circulate very well. trapping these chemicals and making them nearly impossible to remove through standard cleaning. There was research done on this, and this research was from the Milken Institute, and they identified 45 toxic chemicals that are commonly found in indoor dust. This included things like phthalates and flame retardants. Now, phthalates are found in plastics, they're found in fragrances, and flame retardants are often found in furniture foam and electronics. A crowded room essentially creates a permanent library for these chemicals. Because we are constantly moving through our homes, we're stirring up this dust into our breathing zone. So when we inhale these particles or they settle on our skin where they could be absorbed in the bloodstream, we're causing issues. Simplifying your home is the most effective way to eliminate these chemical landing pads and clear the air. And these chemicals are linked to serious long-term health issues as well as short acute issues, primarily endocrine disruption. So endocrine disruptors are chemicals that interfere with the way your body's hormones work. They can impact everything from thyroid function to reproductive health. And for families with young children, the risk is even higher. Kids spend more time playing on the floor and they have a higher rate of hand-to-mouth behavior. So their developing bodies are also much more sensitive to chemical triggers. When you start simplifying your home, you're directly reducing the daily toxic dose that your whole family is receiving. And it's allowing their immune and endocrine systems to function without constant interference. If you're navigating a home project right now, or you're trying to figure out if your home is actually safe, I know that it can feel really overwhelming. You might be guessing about invisible toxins or trying to figure out where a damp odor is coming from. It might even be trying to fix stagnant air in your home without a clear plan. In order to give families my dedicated attention, I take just 4 virtual one-on-one consultations a week to help you set up a clear plan for your home. We can look at your space together and come up with a science-backed plan and a step-by-step roadmap that leaves you feeling confident about your home. Simply click the link above or in the video description below to set up your one-on-one consultation with me so that we can walk through your home and create that plan together. Now, the bedroom is the most critical room in the house, and it should always be the priority when you start simplifying. This is where the body undergoes metabolic repair. During deep sleep, your body enters a state of high-level maintenance, specifically the glymphatic system. This is the brain's waste clearance system, and it only works effectively during deep, non-REM sleep. So this system literally flushes out metabolic waste and toxins that accumulate during the day. So if your bedroom is filled with clutter and just stuff, it creates a subtle subconscious stress that keeps you in a lighter stage of sleep, hindering this vital detoxification process. Visual clutter isn't just an eyesore, it's actually a cognitive drain. Researchers at Princeton found that clutter competes for your brain's attention even when you aren't directly looking at it. So your brain is constantly mapping your environment to ensure safety. And when a room is cluttered, your brain has to process all of those extra signals, creating what we usually call visual noise. So this keeps the nervous system in a state of low-level sympathetic alert. So this is the fight or flight mode that we talk about. This in turn spikes cortisol, which again is our primary stress hormone. So to heal, your body needs to be in a rest and digest state. This is the parasympathetic state. A clear, simple room, it signals safety to the brain, and then it allows cortisol levels to drop and cellular healing to begin. Building biology also looks at the electrical environment. Every device plugged in near a bed produces a small electrical field, and that is even when the device is turned off. So these fields can interfere with the body's subtle electrical communication at the cellular level. Electronics are often sources as well of blue light, or they have these standby lights that interfere with the pineal gland. So moving chargers and electronics out of the room can reduce EMF exposure, and it allows the body to produce melatonin without interference. Melatonin is a really powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from oxidative stress and DNA damage. So we want to do everything possible to protect its production during the night. So let's do a little bit of a kitchen audit. In the kitchen, simplification means choosing materials that do not compromise health. Now, most people have cabinets overflowing with plastic storage containers. I even have some of my own. And over time, especially when heated or washed, these plastics can begin to degrade. And when they degrade, they shed microplastics and leach phthalates into your food. So by simplifying your kitchen to just a few high quality inert items, this would be glass, stainless steel, you ensure that your food storage remains stable and non-toxic. It also makes your kitchen much easier to manage. When you have fewer high quality items, you spend less time managing stuff and more time preparing those nutrient dense, healthy meals for your family. Another action step is really looking at your cleaning products. So the marketing industry would have us believe that we need a specialized chemical or cleaner for every single corner of the house. We need one for glass, we need one for the floor, one for the counter. The problem is this creates a chemical soup of volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and these linger in the air long after cleaning is done. They also linger in your cabinet that you're keeping them in. Many of these chemicals are respiratory irritants. They can trigger headaches, or they can create long-term issues where we're starting to see fatigue and body burden. So by simplifying your whole cleaning caddy to just one high quality plant-based concentrate, you can reduce the VOC load in your home and save physical space. It also makes the habit of cleaning much more straightforward, which helps you maintain the low dust environment that is so critical for your healthy home. We use Aspen Clean in our own home. They have a concentrated cleaner that lasts forever, and it is a great alternative to purchasing a bottle all the time in the store. So let's start looking at some action steps. The most effective way to start is the one surface rule. So choose just one area today. It could be a nightstand, it could be a dresser top. I want you to clear it completely, remove everything, and then I want you to wipe away the SVOC laden dust with a damp cloth. You can use microfiber if you have to. This does have some plastics in it. You could just use cotton, but one way or another, I want you to wipe that surface down. And then only put back one or two items that truly serve a purpose or bring you peace. You can notice the immediate shift in the room's energy, I promise. It's much easier to relax and enter a restorative sleep state when your eyes finally have a clean, peaceful place to rest. This small, manageable win provides the dopamine boost and the momentum that you need to tackle the larger areas of your home. And while we're in your bedroom, I want you to move all electronics to a central charging station away from your bed. So we want to establish a digital sunset by moving all of these electronics. This could be phones, it could be tablets, it could be smartwatches. And I want them to be moved to a central charging station, if possible, outside your bedroom. And I want this to happen at least 1 hour before bed. This is a really simple shift, and it does two major things for our biology. First and foremost, it reduces the electrical stress and EMFs in your sleeping environment. And then second, it stops blue light from tricking your brain into thinking it's daytime all the time. This signals your brain that it is time to shift into the detoxification and repair process that are essential for waking up feeling refreshed and mentally clear. Creating a healthy home can really feel like a massive task, especially when you're trying to balance a family life that's busy and has a lot of moving parts. And I totally understand that and can relate. And it's exactly why I do what I do. If you're ready to dive deeper and you want science-based plans that are tailored to your specific home and your family needs, I do individual consultations. And I love coming up with these really specific plans that walk through your home, not just any home, yours. We can look at your space together, identify the highest priority toxins, and we can create a manageable plan to simplify your home in a way that fits your lifestyle. And the beauty of this is that you don't have to navigate this journey alone. We can do it together. As always, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're able to take at least one idea from this week's video and apply it in your own home to make it a healthier, more simplified space. If you did find this video helpful, definitely give it a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I am here every single week with new ideas, new research, and new ways that you can create a home that actually supports your health and wellness.